So, I want to be talking about something a little bit more important than all the shit that's happening in the world today, more important than tariffs, more important than war and genocide. I want to talk about all these ugly bitches in movies and TV shows. Because what the fuck? When you're watching a show or a movie, uh, I don't want to be looking at someone who looks like they're recovering from Down syndrome. The Last of Us, for example, is a very good example. Very good example. Uh, it's actually an interesting show with a very interesting story. But when I see Ellie on screen, I'm like, you're telling me that HBO chose this? I've seen all the other actresses who applied to play Ellie. And so they're in a board meeting and they say, oh, there's all these people. Oh, this bitch right here, this bitch right here. We're gonna choose her. Yeah. You know? Uh, uh. Some people, people, quote unquote people say that we all know which type of people that we should cast other types of people, and that there are different types of beauty. So this will combat by hiring actors who look different. This will combat unrealistic beauty standards. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that being mildly attractive was unrealistic. And I'm not being sexist. I hate it when they cast mid-ass ugly men in lead roles. When you cast men in lead roles, or women, just anyone in lead roles that I have to be looking at, and of course lead roles, main characters like the good guys or whatever, because if the bad guy's kind of ugly, it's kind of okay, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, kind of fucking hate him more. But if the lead role, the person I'm supposed to be rooting for, looks, again, like they're recovering from Down syndrome, I'm not gonna be liking them that much. But yeah, with ugly, I want to see a buff, muscular man as a lead role. Most of the time, it depends on what character they're playing. The only time I accept mid-ass, weird-looking people is when it's a historical uh, movie and they have to kind of recreate what the person looks like. But even then, it's like, okay, don't cast a fucking weirdo-looking individual. Um, And I see mid and ugly people every day. When I watch a TV show, I want to be taken out of this world. I don't want the people who are constantly on my screen. I need them, actually. I need them to be above average. The people I'm supposed to be rooting for have to be above average. Uh, like, for example, Huey from The Boys, he was starting to piss me off because, wow, okay, there's no need for all of that. There's no need for all of that. Um, But he's kind of the ugly you can kind of ignore. But sometimes they cast people who are distractingly ugly. And you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Uh, and we're visual creatures, you know. We react to what we see a lot of times. And I'm just going to say something. I'm going to say something. This would have never happened with Harvey fucking Weinstein calling the shots. I said it. He knew what's up. He knew what was up. You know, I know what he did was messed up, but sometimes a great good can come from a great evil. And during Weinstein Prime, movies were fucking good. And let me tell you something else. He did do messed up things, but that's still happening. That's still happening. And worse things, of course, but that is still happening. That little his little skullduggery. Everyone does that. That's another conversation. But anyways, what I'm just trying to say, get these ugly ass bitches off my screen and cast decent looking people. You know, in the Last of Us, you can just see in the promotional material and in the side by side comparisons of all of like Ellie from the game and Ellie from the show, and they're trying to compare both characters, and it's like you can see the drastic difference, the horrendous difference, even just like, damn, what is this, honey? Like, they're trying so hard. And of course you have to have some empathy. Like, I'm just saying, if I was in Hollywood, I would try my utmost to get every role. It's not a fault of the actor. Like, for example, Bella Ramsey, or for example, there's other actors I can think about that are ugly, but I just can't remember. You know, you try your utmost. You do you. But it's up to the casting director to say, no, this bitch ugly. This bitch don't look the part. You know? It's up to them. Where are the standards? I remember watching movies back in the day, back in the Weinstein days, when it's like the main character wants to be an actress. It's always a woman, of course. Wants to be an actress. Like, oh, I don't get hired because I look different. Yeah, yeah, that's what I want to see. You don't see that anymore in movies. I want to see that more in movies. I want to see bitches getting sad because they don't get hired because they look fugly. I want to see that. I want to see that from casting. If I was a casting director, I wouldn't be like Weinstein. I'd be a bit more chill. I like to think that, but I would very firmly say, "Nah, bitch, you fugly, get out of my face." You know. Uh, for example, there's actors that you see a lot in movies that they're never the main character. Like Bella or Ramsey, that's the name of Ellie. She would do fine as like a side character. Side character, background character. In everything she is, she should be relegated to background character. It's unfortunate for her career, but like, what I'm saying? If she's unhappy, work at like an office job. Don't go for acting. Acting is for pretty people. Ugly people or fugly people, they get parts, but they're not the main parts. Like this nigga, you see this guy? You've seen him in so many movies. Can you imagine if they cast this guy as like the main lead, romantic lead even, that you're supposed to kind of, damn, who that in the back? You know what I'm saying? Imagine if they cast him, you'd be like, oh, what's this, honey? What's this? Like, no. Beauty is not really subjective. There's like different types of beauty, like, oh, this is pretty, this is pretty. But, is this pretty? Not to most people. And one argument, the only argument that I think is valid. The other arguments being, oh, well, I think she's beautiful. You're okay, okay, sure, sweetie, whatever. The only argument is like, oh, Ellie's supposed to be like 14, and you're trying to sexualize her. Well, now in season 2, she's like 19 and she's still fucking ugly. So, and back to the whole unrealistic body standards. I'm sorry, I don't want the entire concept of beauty to change just because of some mentally ill 14-year-old girls. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have anorexia. Don't let anorexia get in. Don't let anorexia get in the way of pretty women in movies. That's my closing statement. I think that's a good one.